Philip Dube, so your territory. Just listening to that montage, it really kind of puts it all together, what has been such a long trial. It's so much for the jurors to take in, but we do know that they asked that question. They requested a slide from closing arguments of the prosecution. What does that indicate to you?
Oh, I don't think it's a good sign for the defense, to be quite candid, because it sounds like they're trying to trace a timeline that might contradict Bob Durst's version of events. If you recall, one of the key pieces of evidence against him is that Susan Berman was a meticulous, I don't want to necessarily say note taker, but she was an entry maker in her day planner. And she specifically excluded any mention of Bob Durst in her organizer, that he was coming to town, that they were going to do a staycation, that they were going to go, I don't know, to, Disneyland or Knott's Berry Farm or to the City Walk at the Universal Studios. Just crickets, completely no mention of it. And the fact that the jury wanted to see that timeline is troubling.
Yeah. The thing is that is always kind of been a question for me throughout this whole trial is, obviously he's on trial for the murder of one person, Susan Berman, and throughout all of this, the prosecution has tried to prove that he murdered 3 people and Susan knew too much, and that's why he wanted to kill her, right? But I thought that the defense did a really good job of bringing out that, there's no evidence about Kathy Durst's death, right? And he was acquitted of murdering Morris Black. So do you think that by being this ambitious, it could boomerang?
Oh, let me just tell you, I have a philosophy about trying cases, and I say less is more. I've seen juries acquit on an ocean of evidence and convict on a scintilla of evidence. If you give this type of avalanche of evidence to a jury, it's just too much to process. Okay, we want to really believe that juries are intelligent, they can sift through it, but let's be honest, a lot of them are moon rocks. They latch on to terms, they latch on to specific words, and they're really not following what's really happening. So if you overwhelm them with too much data, too much evidence, you're going to lose them. But what I think Bob Durst has going for him is a jury instruction about circumstantial evidence. If it's subject to 2 or more reasonable interpretations, the jury is required by law to adopt the interpretation that points towards innocence. Because there should only be one interpretation, and that is toward guilt. If there's 2, it means you have reasonable doubt.
Got it. Thank you so much for your analysis from Los Angeles. Still ahead, we continue to follow a death penalty case out of